Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So in today's tutorial, we are going to create one automation. So in this automation, what we are going to do is whenever we are going to upload an object into S3 bucket, on the creation of that object into the S3 bucket, Lambda is going to get triggered by using S3 events. And as soon as Lambda is going to get triggered, Lambda is going to get the JSON data from that JSON file which has been created. It is going to process it and it is going to push that data into DynamoDB table. So let's go ahead and start by creating a S3 bucket first. So let me jump to AWS console. Okay. So in AWS console, I will go to S3. In S3, I will create bucket JSON S3 bucket. I will keep everything as it is. I will remove all public access, acknowledge it. That's it. Now I will go and just create the bucket. Okay, so this name is already taken. So I will just change the name. JSON also taken. S3 bucket JSON. Okay, so this name is not taken yet, so we can use this. So it will be S3 bucket JSON. So I will just go ahead and create. So as you can see, I have created the bucket. Now what we are going to do is our bucket is created, as you can see, successfully. Now our next step would be to create a DynamoDB table. So let's create a DynamoDB table. DynamoDB, I will just open this in new tab. Tables, create table. I will just give the table name as user, partition key as ID, number. That's it. I will just create the table. Okay, so the table is created. Now what is our next step? Now we have to create a lambda function, but before creating the lambda function, we will be creating a lambda role. So let's go to IAM console. In IAM console, I will click on policies. I will create a new policy. So in this new policy, choose service. So over here, first we will choose S3. So in S3, I will click on S3. So I will go to read, get bucket, get policy status, bucket tagging, versioning, bucket location, notification, get object is here. So I will just select these. Okay, 11, that is what which would be required. Now I will go to resources. In resources, I will click on all resources and I will click on add permission. So we have taken S3 permission. Now it's time for DynamoDB permission. So it will be Dynamo. So in DynamoDB, we will have to write to the table. So we will go to a write, create table. Table is already created, but let's just select it. So in this, I will write delete item, put item. So this we are going to perform an activity which would be put item. Okay, so that's it. Now we have added permission for S3. This now the most important permission that I would be required would be CloudWatch logs. So CloudWatch logs, I will keep it on. Okay. So as you can see the JSON version of this. So these are all the policies that we are. Just give me a minute. Let me click on all resources. Okay. Now if I go to JSON, you can see logs star. Okay. Now as you can see, logs star. I will just go next to tags. No need to put anything. So over here I will name it as JSON S3 role, sorry, policy for Lambda. So you can see CloudWatch logs S3, but I cannot see DynamoDB over here. Let me just go ahead and check once again. Read access. Okay. Okay. Now you can see DynamoDB is also there. We have a right permission. So I will just go ahead. Let's copy this name, policy, create policy. So now as I have created the policy, I will just go ahead and create a new role, create role, AWS Lambda, next permissions. I will select our policy, policy selected. Over here we will write JSON S3 role for Lambda. Now we will just go ahead and create the role. So guys, our role is created. Now I will just go ahead and create the Lambda function. So first what I will do, I will just create the function over here, S3 JSON processing. It will be a Python code in advanced setting, in execution role, use an existing role, refresh, and I will take our role which is S3 JSON role for Lambda. Okay. So that is the right one, JSON role for Lambda, and I will create the function. So after creating the function, what I will do, I will just go to CloudWatch log group, CloudWatch. I will open CloudWatch. So in CloudWatch, I will first go to logs, log group, and first we have to make sure that our log group is getting created for our S3 JSON processing Lambda. S3, it is not yet created, so I will just go ahead and test our code. Test create. Hello world, deployed, test. So you can see the sample code is executing. Now let me see if log groups are getting. See, now log group has changed to 18. So we have our log group created, S3. So as you can see, S3 JSON processing is our log group now. Now we are into this log group. So till now, we have what we have done. We have created a S3 bucket. We have created a DynamoDB table. We have created a Lambda role for Lambda. Then we have created the Lambda using the role that we have created, and we have opened the CloudWatch management console where we have checked the log group is created successfully. Now why we are creating the log group, that I will show you in just a minute. So what I have done over here, so I have created a sample file, that is a JSON file. Okay, so let me open this file for you. See. So I have created this JSON file. So in this JSON file, I have given ID, name, and salary. Okay. I will just close this so you can see the file over here. Now, first what we will do, if I go to logs, you can see this. So in Lambda, if I go back, I will just close the execution role. What I want to see is I want to print the event. Why I'm going to print the event? Because this test event you can use simultaneously or multiple times to push your code or to test your code. So what I'm trying to do is, let me show you over here. So as you can see, import JSON is over here. We will write import. Okay, we will do it later. First, let's get the event. So for getting the event, what I will do, whatever event we are getting, I am going to JSON dot dumps event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the event which we get to Lambda function from S3 bucket. So in that, once the event comes in, then we are going this function JSON.dumps is going to create that specific data into JSON format. And why we are going to use this, then we are going to use the JSON format in our test. So by using that, we can start writing our code and we can test it simultaneously. So I will just deploy it and let me click on test to see. You can see this is JSON. Okay. Now what I will do is, as you can see, I have created S3 bucket. So in S3 bucket, first we are going to go to the top of the S3 JSON processing, add trigger. Over here we are going to select S3. In S3 we are going to select our bucket, S3 bucket JSON. We are going to do it on put object, and it is only going to process the files which are the JSON file, for which we are going to give the suffix .json, acknowledge, add. Now what you can see over here, if I go to properties, in events, see, put event is added, that we have done from Lambda console. Now as you can see, the event is added. I will just go ahead and upload the object, that is our JSON file, sample.json. So I will just click on upload. So as soon as it is going to get uploaded, we should be getting logs. So this, okay, so this log is not loading. Let me go back. Okay, a new log stream is created. Okay, so this new log stream, see over here, if I click on drop down, this is the JSON I was looking for. Okay, so what this JSON is providing, this JSON is going to provide us everything that we would be required in our Boto3 code. So I will just copy this from the logs, go to JSON, go to Lambda code editor. In code editor, I will just click on configure test event, and over here I will copy paste it. Now what is the benefit of this? Now by doing this, I don't have to again and again upload that JSON file while I am writing the code. So I can test my code at any time by using this test method. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to start writing our code. So as you know, we are going to write our code by using Boto3. So first write import Boto3. Okay, so first we are going to invoke our S3 client. So what is the S3 client? S3 Boto3. So let's go to the official documentation. Client, we have imported Boto3. Now I will just copy this and and I will just paste it over here. Let's make it as s3 underscore client. Okay, so we have one client now. Now, as you know, we are also going to work on DynamoDB. So let's go ahead and search for DynamoDB client also. DynamoDB. So if I click on client, this is going to be, sorry, in DynamoDB, we are not going to use the client, we are going to use the service resource. For that, we will be using DynamoDB. So, so as you can see, we have invoked our client and a resource. So after invoking that, what I am going to do now is we are going to start writing the function. So what we have to do is we are going to first get the object. So our agenda is, as soon as the JSON file is uploaded, we have to fetch the content of that specific object, that is a JSON content, and we have to process that content and we have to push that into the DynamoDB table. So for getting object from S3, we are going to use get object method. So this is get object. Okay, so if I click on get object, you can see get object. Now what it does is it retrieves object from Amazon S3. Okay, so if I go down, so if I see response is equal to client.get object, so in this we have to give the bucket name which is required, and along with bucket name we have to give the file name which is known as key. So I will show you key also. See, key is also required. So we have to make sure that we have this information first before going towards this. So what we can do now is let's go back to our Lambda console. So in Lambda console, let me first we will fetch the bucket name from the event. Okay, bucket name means, sorry, first we will fetch the bucket name, then we are going to fetch the file name, that is the object name. So first fetch the bucket name. So now as we have to fetch the bucket name, over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable bucket named bucket is equal to. Okay, so now as you know that we have Lambda over here, JSON over here. So this JSON that we have, so from this JSON we have to fetch the bucket name which is this, and we have to fetch the bucket key which is this. Okay, so let me copy this, let me take you JSON. JSON where, in this JSON where I will just paste. Now I will show you one by one. Okay, so now let's go ahead over here. So this is our object which has been returned. So in this object first we will have to go into record. So first what we're going to do is we are going to get an event, and from event we have to fetch the bucket name. So from event first I am going to copy records. A record is copied. Now within record, if I click on this, there is only one, it is 0. I will click on 0. Now within this, what I will do, within 0 I have to go to S3. So I will just put S3 over here. Now in S3 I have to, inside S3, so see, I will just close everything. So right now we are in S3, and from S3 I am going to go into bucket. When I am inside bucket, I am going to go to name. Okay. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Print bucket. That's it. I will just deploy it, and let me show you. This is bucket name is equal to deploy. Let's test the code. Okay, so there is, okay, what is the syntax error? My mistake. So over here I forgot to give quotes, so this should be in quote. So records in quote, s3 in quotes, bucket in quotes, name in quotes. Okay, deploy. Let's test it. Okay, so invalid. Let me check it once again. So bucket is equal to event. Event we have a records. In records we go to 0. And from 0 we are fetching s3. From s3 we are fetching bucket, and from bucket we are fetching name. Okay. Okay, so this is the issue. Deploy. So the code ran successfully. As you can see, we were able to fetch the bucket name. Now the same way, what I'm going to do is we are going to fetch the object name now. Fetch object or file name which is uploaded. Okay, so what in this case I will give the name as JSON underscore file underscore name is equal to, now within event we have to fetch. Let's go back over here. So I have to go into object. Okay, so till s3 the path would be same. If you can see, till s3 our path will be same, which is going to be records 0, then s3. Then within s3, instead of going into bucket, I will go to object, and in object I will go to key. So let me just copy this till bucket. Now we have copied this till bucket. Done. Now within bucket I will go to key. Sorry, within bucket I will first go to object, not key. Object, then within object I will go to key. Done. So let's print that again for you. File name is equal to JSON file. Deploy. Now let's test it. So there is one error. Okay, so in the line s3 object key I have done one error. So let's check. Event record 0 s3. Oh, sorry. So after s3 I have to go directly to object. By mistakenly I have taken it as bucket. So I will remove that and deploy it, test it. So the code is successful. Now you can see the bucket name is s3 JSON bucket, and the file name that I've uploaded, we were able to fetch that also. Now why we were doing this? We were doing this because we have to go ahead and run this method to get the object information, that is the content of the JSON file which has been uploaded. So now over here, what I'm going to do is I am going to get the JSON object now. So JSON underscore object is equal to s3 underscore. See, I will show you from here. We are going to use the client that we have invoked, and from that client dot get underscore object. Now in object, what we are going to do is we are going to define the parameters. First is bucket. I will just copy this from here, bucket, and for that bucket I will just copy the name of the bucket. It should be string, so by default this is a string. So bucket is equal to this, comma, and key. So key is equal to JSON file name. Done. So now let's see what it returns. So let's see the type of uh, let's print the JSON object that we get. JSON underscore object. So deploy test. Okay, JSON. Okay, I made a mistake over here. JSON object is equal to this. So s3 dot client get object, bucket is equal to bucket, comma, key is equal to JSON file name. Now deploy test. See, the code is successful. Now you can see we got this data, that is the response. So in this response, what we are interested in, we are interested in the body. So what I'm going to do is, so this body is going to, let's go to the official documentation and it will show you what it is going to return. So if you see it is going to return a dictionary. So in dictionary, what we are interested in, we are interested in body, that is the streaming body. This streaming body is going to give us the content which is inside the JSON file which has been uploaded. So what we are going to do is, so we are going to decode this. So let me go ahead and decode it. So this is what we can do. Before decoding. Okay, so before decoding, this is going to be a dictionary, and now we are going to decode it. So let's decode file underscore reader is equal to JSON object, and from JSON object, what I'm going to do is I am going to fetch body. Now, this body that we're going to fetch, we are going to read it by using the read method of Python, and with that we are going to decode it using UTF-8. UTF-8. Done. So now let's print. So we will do two things. First, I will show you type. So if you see, now it should show before decoding. And so before we decode, I am going to show you what is the type of the object. Type JSON object, and after doing that, what is the type? And let's print the object itself. Copied. So I will test it. Code was successful. No. Okay, my bad. So what happened over here is, guys, so over here I have written before decoding, and after that what I have done is I have I am printing a dictionary object. You cannot print a dictionary object directly, so I will just try to put str over here and deploy it. See, now what I am trying to show over here is, guys, you can see before decoding it was a dictionary object, and after I decoded, you can see it became a JSON string object. Now the JSON string object that we have decoded is this. Okay, now what we have to do is, as you can see, we have decoded the object. Now before using it, we have to make this JSON string into a dictionary. So for doing that, what we will have to do is we will have to go ahead and import one module. So what module that is? Let me show you. So that module is, let's go over here, AST Python. So if you see, this AWS module has Python application to process trees of Python abstract syntax grammar. So in this, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use literal eval function. What is AST dot literal dot literal underscore eval. So we are going to, guys, use this function. What is this function? Safely evaluates an expression node or a string containing a Python literal or container display. The string or node provide may only consist of following Python. It should be a string, bytes, number, tuples. So these are the types which it takes in. So I am going to use this. So for using this, first I will go to my code. I will import AST. Now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, the type is string. So I'm going to convert this string into dictionary. Why we are going to convert this string into dictionary? Because in DynamoDB, when we are going to use the put item method, in that method the argument that we have to pass, that argument should be a dictionary. That is the reason we are converting this JSON string into dictionary. So for that, what I will do is I will again copy this, paste it over here. Now file reader is equal to AST dot literal underscore eval. So in this I am just going to give file reader. Now let me show you what is the output. So that's it, code deployed, and let's test it. So guys, as you can see, before decoding it was a dictionary, after decoding it became a string. So this is how it was supposed to be. This is a string. Now I converted that string into dictionary. So this is a dictionary over here. So as I said, why we are converting this to dictionary? Because we have to push this data to, okay, now as you can see, as we have all the data now, we have the bucket name, we have the file name. and by using this we used the get object, we got the object, we got the data from the JSON file. Now as we have the data, what we are going to do is we are going to push that data into DynamoDB table that we have created. So for doing that, what we are going to do is we are going to first use our resource table method. Okay, so what it would be, and let me take it to official documentation. So this is the official documentation in DynamoDB table. If I click on this, we are going to use table is equal to DynamoDB table. So I will just copy this from here, and so this name is going to be our table name that we have created. So I will just copy this. Now let's go to our Lambda function over here. Just paste it over here. Okay, so now we have the table information within table. Now by using table dot put item, so what we are going to do is we are going to create, we are going to push the items in a DynamoDB table. So let's go to the official documentation over here. I will just check put underscore item. So see, if I click on put underscore item, it creates a new item or replaces an old one. So what is the syntax for that? So response is equal to table put item. So in this, item is compulsory, and if you see, this item is supposed to be a dictionary. So what we are going to do is we are just going to pass our dictionary that we have already converted. So for that, I will just write item, just copy item to our code in parameters. Item is equal to, and we are just going to give our dictionary. Okay, let's deploy the code. Okay, so now the code is deployed. Now let me check if it is running successfully. Click on test. Okay, so the code ran successfully. Let me go back to our table, explore table items, and guys, as you can see, our data was successfully pushed into the DynamoDB table. Now what I will do is I will just delete this in front of you. Action, delete, sorry, duplicate item by mistake. So I will just select this. I will just click on delete item, delete. Now what we are going to do is, now we saw that our code is working successfully. So now I will go to the DynamoDB, sorry, the S3 bucket. I will remove this file that we have already uploaded. Now our entire code should work automatically. As soon as I am going to upload the file, it should push that. So we will also track our progress from the logs. So what I will do, I will just delete all the log streams. So in case of any issue happens, we would be able to see the logs over here and understand what exactly went wrong. So now as you can see, the bucket is empty. I will close it. I will click on upload. Now after clicking on upload, I am just going to put our file over here. Okay. Now as soon as I click on upload, it should trigger the Lambda function, and that Lambda function should create a record over here, an item over here. So I will just click on upload. So the file got uploaded successfully. Let's go to cloud watch and let's see if there is any logs getting generated for the same. Okay, so the log got generated. I will go to the log. So guys, as you can see, each and every thing that was in our code, first is it printed the bucket name, then the file name, then it displayed the type of object we got. It was a dictionary. Then it got converted to class string. Then after that, this is the string that we have, then we converted that to dictionary, and then this dictionary was pushed to DynamoDB table. So I will just refresh it. So guys, as you can see, so what we did here over here is first we uploaded a file, that is a JSON file, into the S3 bucket. As soon as we uploaded the JSON file into the S3 bucket, by using the event configuration, which is over here in our Lambda function that we set over here. So as soon as the put object was performed, that put object triggered the Lambda. That Lambda picked the object and it pushed into the DynamoDB table. So thank you for joining the session, guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.